Hi guys, welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Next we're going to take a look at another one of the bounty hunters from The Empire Strikes Back, the final one we need to look at in the line. And this one was originally released in 2018, but I'm still doing it now to mark the 40th year of the film. And that is this character here, Dengar. Now before we look at Dengar in full detail, we'll take a look at the packaging this one came in. As you can see, because it was 2018, it comes in the recently retired Black Series packaging. I do have one figure with the new packaging, which will be coming to reviewing very soon on the channel. But this will be the one of the last figures that will have this packaging, even though it's from way back at number 74 in the red bar packaging line. But this is still a good package. It's going to be a shame to see this one go, because we've had it round since The Force Awakens' as first wave was released back in 2015. But there's still the artwork of Gregory Titus on there, and the description, if you want to read that. Just pause the video now and you can read it. But that is the packaging again there, so that's another one to show off as part of the Black Series. It's a good one to still show on the channel. We now get to the figure. So of course Dengar is one of the bounty hunters from the scene in The Empire Strikes Back as well, just like the ones I've previously given you a look at on the channel over the years. And this one is by no means a bad figure to add to the collection. If you want to, as I said, if you want to complete that collection of bounty hunters, this is one you have to add to. And you've had Cad Bane recently released in the Black Series, but he's not an Empire Strikes Back based bounty hunter, being in the Clone Wars. But if you want more of a collection, he's a good addition. I'm just giving you that look of the sculpt that they've done on his face there to capture the injured look that he has when you see him, that brief moment you see him on screen in the film, but the way they've really gone into making him look good and really making the figure worth your while when you have it. And just the whole sculpt of the actual bandaging as well, just really well done to capture that. You've got the little bumps of it all across there and the little metal points here. So it's a great figure to have in the collection. Then just looking down at the further metallic points of his armour, that sort of snowtrooper-like armour that he's got, the dark one, especially around that. And then his blaster rifle, of course, you get there, and all the different things. And his backpack detail too. This is a great figure for a bounty hunter collection, and I'm glad to own it. I picked it up about over a year ago on Forbidden Planet, and I've been waiting up to do this one on the channel, and I've decided to save this one to the last of them all, because I've done them all across the years now, of the 6 bounty hunters from the scene in The Empire Strikes Back. They're all great figures, and it's good to have them all in the collection. I just think he's a fantastic one to have there. And of course recently there's been a debate as to whether Dengar popped up in episode 9, because there was a character on Kajimi called Hrothgar Deng, who I will just show a quick comment there. Basically, he is basically been rumoured to be Dengar, as his name is sort of an anagram of the Dengar, like his name is pretty much in there. And so yeah, many people are thinking that could be Dengar, but it is not confirmed by Lucasfilm. It's like the Captain Rex and Nick Sant thing. We're not quite sure which is which. But this, all in all, this is a great figure. I just don't think there's much bad I can say about it. It's very well sculpted, and I like to pose him with this usually, as he is in the Empire Strikes Back meeting. The blaster is pretty much the same as the one from Forlorn. It can be easily taken out of his hand like that, so you can have him hold it similarly. Because I've got Forlorn holding it from the top, and it's now slipped out of his hand. So yeah, it's just sort of there. It's exactly the same as the one Forlorn has, as I've said, except it's just a little bit brighter. So there is, like I said, there is that slight difference, but all in all it's exactly the same. But it's a good one to have. His other accessory is another blaster rifle, which he has in there. Blaster pistol, should I say. And that can just be taken out the holster and placed on his hands. So I'll just do that a second. There we go. So you can have him with a blaster pistol there, in case he wishes to use that instead of his blaster rifle. Unfortunately there's nowhere so you can actually clip the blaster rifle onto if you wish to pose him with this instead of the pistol, so that's a bit of a shame, because it would be nice if there was just a little spot on the bag just so you can clip the blaster onto and then have him stand around with it, sort of like how the Mandalorian has the sort of clip in the side of him. I'm checking on the blaster itself and on the actual figure. There just doesn't seem to be any way you can clip it onto. So it's a bit unfortunate, but it's not too much of a letdown. But look, giving a full look at the figure in full now that I haven't got the blaster in the way, you can just see how well done they've detailed the armour. Like, they've even weathered it as well. I think that's just really good. It shows that the thing's seen action. that the bounty hunter has been out there. He's got his weathering on his knees as well, and across there. As of course, Dengar was seen in The Empire Strikes Back, and he was also seen in the Clone Wars, where he was voiced by Simon Pegg. So there's that, and as I said, his possible cameo in The Rise of Skywalker, and I know he made an appearance in the Aftermath novel series there. So whether we'll see him pop up in The Mandalorian later on, we do not know. I mean, that would be nice to have him, given that the show seems to be about a lot of bounty hunters featuring, because we did have a recent cameo from Boba Fett in the first episode, so there'll be plenty more to see across the later episodes. Give run down the articulation. He has a ball joint in the hinge at the neck, but it's very, very limited, given the armour, so you can't really look up and down, but looking sideways is fine there. So it feels more like a swivel head. Ball hinged shoulders, ball hinged elbows, ball hinged wrists, ball hinged torso, which again is very limited by the backpack's presence there, but you can take it off, and that does provide you a little bit more back movement for Dengar there. So it's just one of those little restrictions you get, but that can just slot back in. And plus, I wouldn't really want it like that because it's got that big hole there. I don't think that's ideal to have on there, so I prefer to have it in. You get the ball hinged hips again, so you can do the splits, swivels at the thighs, double joints at the knees, and ball joint rockers at the ankles. So it's the same old hyper articulation that we're used to, but it is a really good figure and worth having, especially when you're a Bounty Hunters fan. I just checked earlier, this one didn't seem to get a 40th anniversary reissue, so they might reissue him further down the line as part of the newer packaging, like they did with the Star Wars Rebels figures. So if that happens, you'll be able to pick him up in there, but we'll just have to wait and see how that turns out. But this Dengar is just that great one. I needed to finish that Bounty Hunter collection that I have, and that just does it nicely well, and it's just a good way to mark off these 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back figures. So yeah, well, I've enjoyed looking at Dengar. I just want to take a full look at the detail on this figure again one more time before I end the video. It's just a great figure. I mean, that's enough to say. It's a great figure, great character, and one that I hope we see some more of in future Star Wars projects. But yeah, that is Dengar. I hope you enjoyed looking at him, and I shall be back with a few more figure reviews. I've got a couple of vintage collection figures I want to give a look at on the channel as well, so they'll be coming up very soon, as will any other future reviews, so do stay tuned for them. But if you did enjoy this video, drop a like on it. Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, links are down there in the description below. Subscribe and hit that notification bell when you can know when I'm next uploading a video. But I'll see you next time.